A.J. Dewey, Roan, and Bowser. And in the secondary, Judson Small and the Blackwood brothers, but Lyle Blackwood, number 42, has a problem with the flu. May be replaced by Paul Langford. Here's the call.
Personal foul, face mask. He hung on the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
Notice he said he hung on the face mask. 15. That is Reese grabbing and pulling, hanging on. Otherwise, it's only 5. So bring the ball out to the 40-yard line of the Patriots. So they get an early break, and they have a first down. Second back through, it's Tony Collins again to the 44-yard line, where Ernie Roan, the middle linebacker, makes the tackle. It'll be second down and 6. Patriots starting, Bob, just the way you figured that they would start.
Well, you figured that they're going to start off running. They have not won in the Orange Bowl in the last 15 times they've played the Dolphins. They're 0-15 playing in the Orange Bowl. Their strength is their running game. The Dolphins' weakness on defense is their run defense, so you figure they're going to come out and try to control the ball game.
They need to make on first down, being one of the key downs, at least 4 yards so they can stay with a running attack. They have 4 yards, and they'll get about 3, maybe 4 more. This time it is Mark Van Eegen. He has 4 to the 48. It'll be third down and a pair as A.J. Dewey makes the tackle along with Ernie Roan.
If the Patriots are going to run anywhere, they're going to have some good blocking by their offensive line. Here you see Kreider, the right tackle, blocking on Betters, number 75 in white. He plays off the block and gets in there, and the Dolphins gang tackle. It's a good play by the Dolphin defense.
Official spotted at the 47, so it is third down and 3. Normally, you would say this is a passing down. But with New England's offense, you have to say it is a running down. Let's see what they do. They're going to throw. In reality, a long handoff to Van Eegen in the right flat, and he has the first down. Going to the Miami 49-yard line, Dewey with the tackle. So that's not a cop-out on my part. They just want to get the running back outside.
It's exactly. It was a good call. The first series of the game. Here you see Grogan dropping back. You see Dewey drifting that way. It's a little screen. Wooten's going over. Van Eegen just takes the ball, cuts back inside, and all in effect it is a long handoff, like you said, Charlie. Get him out there and let him get a little broken field running and 3 yards, and it's a first down.
Just inside the Miami 49-yard line. Throwing on first down. This is an early surprise. Incomplete. Lynn Dawson, tight end. Intended receiver, Glenn Blackwood with the coverage. But it'll be second down and 10, and that means that New England now will have to continue throwing. Final. Pittsburgh over Green Bay by 4, 25-21. Buffalo defeating Cincinnati. Bengals with problems.
Big problems.
Dallas 34, St. Louis 17. They thought it'd be closer. The Giants in the fourth quarter leading Atlanta 13-6. Giants have to have this one. Washington in the fourth quarter by 10 out in front. We'll go back to this game. We'll pick up those scores in just a moment. Second down and 10.
Dolphins showing safety blitz and drop out of it.
Grogan has room to run, and he will step out at the 44. So it'll be third down and 5 as he picks up 5 yards.
That's an interesting read by Steve Grogan. He was a little bit confused. The Dolphin defense had all 11 men up on the line of scrimmage. Last week against the Bills, they didn't show that at all, but 2 weeks ago in the final preseason game against the Giants, they showed a lot of it. I'm sure the Patriots have seen it from those films. The Dolphins will play cat and mouse with the quarterback, and it'll be interesting to see today how Grogan handles it. If he calls it and guesses right, he can make some big plays happen on that type of defense.
Ron Meyer, the head coach of the Patriots. The backfield now, Tony Collins and Robert Weathers as Van Eegen has come out. They'll also show Clarence Weathers. He is in as a receiver from the shotgun. Third down 5. This is a passing formation, of course. And we have whistles. We may have had a 30-second violation. So the Patriots got themselves in trouble with this series of downs by coming out throwing an incomplete pass on first down. We expect them to stay on the ground, particularly on first down, and we also expect them, they need time of possession. They want to keep the offense of Miami off of the field.
That's exactly right, Charlie, but you can't just run on every first down, and certainly they're going to run on most first downs, I think, if they want to establish themselves, but occasionally a first down pass is a good call.
The last time that New England won here was 1966. That was the first time they played here. Since then, they've lost 15 in a row.
There was a whistle blown in the stands. We've given them another 30-second count.
Oh, there's an interesting call. But we have an interesting footnote to NFL history. Right now on offense, the Weathers brothers, Clarence and Robert. Defensively, the Blackwood brothers, Glenn and Lyle.
I've never heard of that before, Charlie, and I've never heard of that Pat Haggerty saying I've heard a whistle in the stands, and I don't think Don Shula had ever heard of that one either.
3rd down 5. Five in the secondary.
The blitzing.
Had to dump it, and it's incomplete. Turning and looking was Stephen Starring, and by the time he made his cut and looked, the ball had already hit the ground behind him.
The safety blitz, Lyle Blackwood coming in. Grogan saw it. There was no way for the Patriot offense to pick it up. That's the problem with young rookie receivers. You have to read that after the snap and adjust your route accordingly. Grogan read it. Starring didn't.
4th down, kicking is Rich Camarillo, 47-yard average. Two great punters here today, Camarillo and Roby for Miami. Mark Clayton is the deep back on the return. Not a lot of pressure, good kick. It'll hang in the wind just a little, taking it to 7, he's to the 10. Heads for the sideline and is rolled down at about the 15-yard line. Brian Ingram was the first man to get to him. Andre Tibbett was also there. So we have no score, and we have almost 12 minutes still to play first quarter. Tony Eason, number 11, Mike Kerrigan, number 19. They're back at quarterbacks to Steve Grogan. Discussion with Ron Meyer. Miami, first time on offense from their own 15-yard line with Nathan and Franklin, the two running backs. And the second back through is Nathan, and he cuts to the outside. A flag is down, and he picks up about 4 yards on the play. If it stands up, Ronnie Lippett is the man who was there for the defense along with Rick Sanford. So while they sort out the flag, let's sort out the basic offensive set for the Miami Dolphins. David Woodley will be the quarterback. We mentioned the two running backs, Tony Nathan and Andre Franklin. And the receivers, Harris, Moore, and Johnson. Dan Johnson, the tight end. Giesler, Kuchenberg, Stevenson, Newman, and Laxo, that offensive line. And now we have time to check out the defense as the penalty is being marked off. Patriots will go with a basic 3-4. They will go with a 4-3 in certain situations, though. Here's Don Shula, the head coach of Miami, and the call of the official.
We have holding, number 84, offense.
They'll mark the penalty to the 7-yard line.
Something very unusual, Charlie. The Dolphins, the least penalized team in the NFL the last 5 or 6 years. Their first defensive play, they had a face mask. Their first offensive play, they had a holding penalty. Something you very seldom see on a Shula coach team.
And a chance for you to take a look at the defense for the New England Patriots. First down, 17. Fumble. The ball is kicked outside the 40. New England has it. Number 42, Ronnie Lippett, the rookie from the University of Miami at Florida, has the football. An ironic turn of events as you take another look. They could have had it at about the 25, but it squirted again in the battle for the football.
Tony Nathan has had some problems in the past with fumbles. Runners of his type that slash through there, swing their arms. Defensive back got his hand in there, knocked the ball out. You might say that's as good as a punt as far as that ball went downfield.
We'll be back in just a moment. The deep threat, interestingly enough, in the last series on 3rd and 5, he was not in, but he is back in. He has a little hamstring problem. Tony Collins breaks it. He could pick up the first down inside of the Miami 40. They marked officially the line of scrimmage at the 50-yard line. It will be a first down. Lyle Blackwood, battling the flu, also made the tackle.
Straight blocking. The offensive line fires off the play. Starts to the left to get the flow of the Dolphin linebackers moving that way. Collins cutting back to the right. Buffalo used that play very effectively last week against the Dolphins.
First down, New England. Mark Van Egan. Van Egan to the 35, so he has 4 yards. It'll be second down 6. Doug Betters with the tackle. Van Egan, of course, in his second year with the Patriots. 8 years with the Raiders, then in Oakland, now in Los Angeles, 15th on the all-time NFL rushing list. with over 6,300 yards.
Don Shula has a lot of respect for Van Egan. Van Egan has had many big games against his Dolphins.
2nd and 6. Jones in motion. Again, staying on the ground. This time it is Tony Collins to the 33. So he picks up a couple. It'll be 3rd down, still around 4. Brudzinski makes the tackle.
Here's a good look. Lynn Dawson, the tight end, going against Brudzinski. Blocks down on Betters. There's just nothing inside. He just has to lower his head, take what he can get.
Miami known for their defense. Why do they have a problem stopping the run?
Well, they used to have a problem stopping the pass, Charlie, and then they were very tough against the run. I think they put so much emphasis last year on stopping the pass that their run defense became a little bit the suspect.
Tony Collins moves outside, shows motion. Robert Weathers now the running back. Flag is down. He goes to the 30. There are 2 flags. One dropped around the 35 and then one at the 29. Brudzinski dropped the running back, Robert Weathers. Interesting story with the Weathers brothers. Robert out of Arizona State, number 24, taken in the 2nd round of the draft. Clarence Weathers, his brother, number 82. It'll be offensive holding. Played freshman ball at Delaware State. Has not played any football since then. Was working out with his brother prior to the season. The coaching staff saw him and said, ooh, he looks pretty good. They held a special draft because his class had graduated. There's a final, Dallas winning. And he looked so good that they signed him as a free agent.
You just can't trust those coaches, Charlie. They're always looking around for talent.
And you saw in overtime, the Giants, Washington defeating Philadelphia by 10, 20-10. Those are finals. Morgan starring in Jones all here, 3 wide receivers.
Number 75.
Holding on Bob Kreider, the right tackle. He has been switched from guard to tackle.
I think that'll be a key matchup today as you see Ronnie Meyer on the sideline. Bob Kreider, normally a guard and a very good guard, has to move over to play right tackle because of the loss of Shelby Jordan, the trade to the L.A. Raiders. But he's matched against Doug Betters, who is probably the best defensive pass rusher for the Dolphins.
Miami with Kozlowski and Langford, 6 men in the secondary. They stay on the ground. Here's Tony Collins. He cuts back. Collins inside the 30. It was 3rd and 13. He picks up the 1st down. He had 15 yards on the carry. Glenn Blackwood making the tackle.
The Dolphins have their nickel defense in, which means they have a lot of backs. They're in a pass rush situation in their defensive line. Plays like this can work. They didn't just pull this out of the hat. They saw something in the films and attacked a weakness in the Dolphin nickel defense.
We have a correction on the Washington-Philadelphia score. The margin was still 10, but it was 23-13. Chicago over Tampa Bay by 7. That's now a final. 9.5 minutes left to go. We're in the 1st quarter here on a very warm day with no score as Van Egan carries on a 1st down at the Miami 27. A.J. Dewey and Ernie Roan make the tackle. And they'll mark it to the 21, so he has 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Thus far, the Patriots' ground attack has been doing the job that it must do if they are to stay in this game with any chance of winning.
This is exactly what Ron Meyer would like to do. The Dolphins are not surprised by this, and talking to their defensive coaches, they anticipated New England coming out and trying to run the ball and control the clock.
Van Egan, the up back, Collins, the deep back on the eye. Collins with Van Egan leading the way. And he just keeps battling. He picks up an extra 3 or 4 yards, taking Lyle Blackwood with him.
Saw Lyle Blackwood on the tackle, and you also saw at the bottom of your screen Glenn Blackwood on a strong safety blitz. But you know, with Lyle in there with his, there you see that final overtime score. Lyle in there, if he's got the flu, I guess they ought to get somebody over there to help him. He's going to drain all of his energies trying to bring down Tony Collins.
The Giants are close, but Atlanta wins. Robert Weathers replaces Tony Collins here. It's a 1st down at the Miami 11. Weathers shows motion. Van Egan. They'll mark at the 6-yard line, so he has 5. It's 2nd and 5. Glenn Blackwood with the tackle. There's a look at Lyle, number 42.
I don't think Lyle will last very long in this humidity. If he has the flu, I think he's going to give it as much as he can, and then he's probably going to be able to have to go out. Be interesting to watch.
2nd and 5. At the Miami 6, no score. Patriots threatening. again. Best defensive play for the Dolphins thus far. Charles Bowser, outside linebacker.
It's a big play by Charles Bowser. Bowser is replacing Larry Gordon, who died of a heart attack while jogging before the preseason, and Bowser has been trying to fill those shoes. Ron Hester, a rookie this year or last year out of Florida State, was battling Bowser. Hester hurt his knee. The job's Bowser if he can perform.
And you saw the correction was the Giants winning in overtime with a field goal. 60-13 New York. Third down from the 8-yard line.
Second off, look for a blitz. Here they come.
Mosi Tatupu to the 5-yard line. He has 3, so it is fourth down, and the field goal team will come aboard.
Both teams, Charlie, like to use the safety blitzes down in this end of the football field, inside the 10-yard line, the 15. That was not a bad call. If you can get a quick trap up the middle and split the 2 defensive linemen that are coming in that area, you can get in there. Obviously, the Dolphins were aware of that, crossed their linemen, and there was nothing in the middle of the line.
Tony Eason to hold. John Smith. Field goal attempt. 1 of 3 last week. This is from the 12, an attempt at 22 yards. High snap, almost blocked, but it is good. So the New England Patriots are on the board. John Smith with a 22-yard field goal. The score is New England 3 and Miami nothing. We'll be back with a kickoff. Is John Smith. He'll be kicking off for New England, just splitting the uprights from 22 yards away. 3-0 lead Patriots. Fulton Walker of Super Bowl return phase is set, but it is high. It is very short. It is taken on the far side by Kozlowski. And Mike is chased out of bounds by Tim Golden. So Miami now will set up their offense for the second time. The first time not that effective, as Tony Nathan fumbled on the second play from offense. It was recovered by New England. Ronnie Lippett got it, and from there they went in to field goal range.
Here's an interesting stat. The 2 receivers for the Dolphins, Vigorito and Cephalo, you see their contribution. Of the team total, 129 receptions, 41 were theirs. Both of them out for the year with knee injuries. And that is really going to hurt the Miami Dolphins, especially in third down passing situations when they played such a big part.
Miami from their own 25. The handoff is to Franklin. He leans to the 31-yard line, excuse me, a gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4 as Roland James and Rick Sanford make the tackle. Franklin last week, as you look at his 82 statistics, last week 18 carries for 75 yards. Official spotted at the 32, so it'll be second down and 3. And now Woodley has the option to throw or run. The cards are in his hand, and he stays on the ground. Here's Tony Nathan. Good move in the open field. First down, 44-yard line. A gain of 12. Ray Claiborne and Rick Sanford with the tackle.
There you go to look at the tight end, Dan Johnson, blocking on McGrew. McGrew is much bigger than Johnson is. Johnson gets the job done with the help of a good move by Nathan. Another good move on Claiborne, and Sanford brings him down. I might like to be one of those defensive backs, seeing a shifty running back coming out there full speed at me.
Defensive change, Toby Williams replaces Julius Adams at right end on the 3-4. Nathan tries the right side for the 44 to the 46. He has 2. It'll be second down and 8. Steve Nelson makes the tackle. Woody Bennett comes into the offensive set for Miami. And a second and 8. You expect the Dolphins to throw?
I think you got to expect either a throw or something around the end, maybe a quick trap up the middle. What you're seeing on the part of the New England Patriots, they're shuffling their defensive linemen in and out of the ball game because of the heat. I think we'll see that the entire game.
Julius Adams is back in at defensive end, just out for a breather. Into coverage, knocked away. Ronnie Lippett, defensive cornerback, but he had help. He had deep help as Duriel Harris, the intended receiver.
It was what we call in the trade a double zone. There were two guys deep covering the deep halves of the field. Woodley tried to lay it over Lippett, who was covering the short portion of the field, and tried to hit Duriel Harris over the top and just underthrew the ball a little bit.
3rd down and 8. You expect him to throw again.
You got to throw here and possibly look to one of their wide receivers. I know they like to get the ball. They didn't get the ball to the wide receivers at all last week, and I know that's one of the things they were working on this week.
They have Nat Moore, Mark Clayton, and Duriel Harris. 3 wide receivers in. Joe Rose, the tight end. Good receiver. First down. Caught it at the 45 of New England. Nat Moore, Lippett, and Marion make the stop.
Here you see a look at the defensive secondary. They're doubling Rhodes as he comes off the line of scrimmage in the middle of your screen. Nat Moore at the top just does a little hook out. Woodley sees it, throws it right in there, right at the first down marker. Veteran like Nat Moore gets the first down yardage, comes back a step, and makes the first down.
David Overstreet now in as a running back as Tony Nathan comes out. Woodley the quarterback. First down, New England 45. Patriots lead 3-0. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Quick screen, far side drop, flag is down. Going to Duriel Harris.
You see a flag, I think it may have been on Stevenson. He threw Owens to the ground.
Holding against Miami.
Here we'll see it right here. Stevenson throws him down. I don't know if they caught it on him or maybe Ed Newman. We'll see. Stevenson, one of the finer centers in the league, really coming into his own.
And you mentioned it earlier, ironic that the Dolphins, the least penalized team in the NFL, always under Don Shula. He, of course, disagrees with the call.
You think he's disagreeing?
Just a little bit.
Illegal use of the hand. Number 67, offense.
The old veteran.
On Bob Kuchenberg. They get back to the Miami 45, and it's first down and 20. Overstreet and Franklin, the setbacks, they're split. And we have encroachment. That is Dennis Owens moving across the neutral zone, making contact prior to the ball being snapped. And once he makes the contact, it's an automatic call.
Well, he was a little excited, Charlie. They had a strong safety blitz on that time. Roland James, number 38, was going to be blitzing inside, something they do quite often. The defense knew it, tried to jump a little bit, got caught.
Encroachment, number 98, defense.
So it is first down at 15. Ron Meyer, the head coach of the Patriots. So Miami got 5 of the 20 back, and it's first and 15. The big problem here is, is try not to get it all back in one play.
You don't have to. You've got 3 plays to get it back. If you make 5 yards each time, you'll have your first down.
Spoken like a true graduate of Purdue. First and 15. Here's Overstreet. 43-yard line. Nelson and Tippett make the tackle. And so it'll be second down and 8, so he got 7 yards back. Overstreet listed as a rookie in the National Football League. Of course, you know the story. #1 draft choice out of Oklahoma in 1981. Played a year and a half in Canada. Didn't play that much the second year. In fact, he didn't play any of the second half of the second year because of fumbleitis. Second and 8. It's there. First down. Just inside the 30-yard line. Nat Moore on the receiving end. Gain of 13.
The Patriots are in a zone here, a little down and out. Woodley looks left the entire way. McGrew being picked up, throws it over the short man, lays it right in. It's a good play by the Dolphins. Raymond Claiborne getting there a little bit late.
Toby Williams in at defensive end. Julius Adams comes out. First down, Miami at the New England 29. Patriots lead 3-0. 2:59 left to go first quarter. Temperature above 100 degrees. Inside handoff to Franklin. Andre with 2, maybe 3 yards. Lester Williams was there to stop him. Woody Bennett will come into the offensive set.
I think you're going to be seeing a lot of shuffling of the backs on both sides. We mentioned the defensive line of the Patriots. The Dolphins have 4 backs that they like to get into the ball game, and the Patriots have the same luxury of 4 backs that can go into the ball game and really get the job done.
2nd and 7 at the 26. Woody Bennett. Bennett diving to the 15-yard line. A gain of 11 and a first down. John Geisler, number 79, left tackle with a key lead block. Claiborne with the tackle.
Woody Bennett has looked good every time they've given him the ball since the preseason started. The knock on Woody was that he had a problem with injuries. Came over from the New York Jets a couple of years ago, had some injuries, but every time he's been healthy and carried the ball, he's looked very good for the Miami Dolphins.
This is a final. Cleveland 31, Detroit 26. Big win for the Browns. They needed it. New England 15, first down.
Check it off. That'd be a strong safety blitz. Nope.
Incomplete. Matt Moore, the intended receiver. Ronnie Lippett had the coverage. Good pass in that circumstance because there was excellent defensive coverage.
Well, that's the only place he could have thrown it, Charlie. He threw it low and away. He was throwing it as much away from Lippett, the defensive back, as he was throwing it to the receiver. In a case like that, an incompletion is the best you're going to get out of it because he was well covered.
2nd down and 10 at the 15. Overstreet and Bennett, the setbacks for Miami. Adams back in on defense.
It's a situation where the Patriots like to blitz. Maybe a weak safety blitz. Rick Sanford, number 25.
2nd and 10.
Scooting up there.
Woody Bennett. 8-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Ed Newman was leading the way for Miami. Rick Sanford, free safety with the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
That's a big play right here. 3rd and 3. If you miss it, you go for a field goal. If you make it, you're probably going to get a touchdown. Be interesting to see what the Dolphins come up with because they'll call their best play maybe an option to one of the backs coming out of the backfield and see what the Patriots do defensively. This may be a chance where they come with their pressure defense, their weak safety blitz. This is the fun part of the football game.
It will be close. They may not have made it. Are you surprised with that call?
I'm a little surprised with the call. And New England was just kind of sitting there. They were in the right defense for the play. The Dolphins are going to go for it. Maybe that's what they were thinking. We can make it with 2 running plays, thinking all along that that was what they were going to be doing.
It'll be 4th down and just a couple of inches for the first down. Luther Hinson comes in. Sanford comes out.
The fans like that decision.
Roy Foster is in. He will be a blocking tight end. He's on the left side, reporting to the officials.
Got to look for him to run left here, Charlie.
Quarterback sneak? No, they tap a handoff. First down.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Where you see the touchdown, Woody Bennett was inserted as a halfback to lead for Andre Franklin. Franklin runs over Patriots and gets into the end zone. Big play on 4th and 1 for the Miami Dolphins.
Donnelly's a block on the sideline. Roy Foster with a block at that tight end. He is normally a tackle. And Miami with a 75-yard touchdown drive.
He lives and dies his football, I'll tell you. He's right in there with the players.
Here's Uwe von Schaman. With the attempt, Don Strock is holding his first appearance of the year, being signed this past week. This series of one-year contracts. It is good. And as we come with that play to the end of the first quarter, the Dolphins have the lead 7-3. Andra Franklin, who just scored the lead touchdown. It's now a 7-3 ball game. Uwe von Schaman, who added the point after, and he'll be kicking off. There's the holder, Don Strock, a series of one-year contracts that he signed. I'm not sure if it was, I believe 3 is the unofficial word, but nobody knows for sure.
He's glad to be back.
Ricky Smith is the deep back, and it bounces through the end zone out of bounds. It's a touchback to bring it out to the 20. Ricky, of course, hoping that he would kick out of bounds around the 1-yard line before it had been touched. And that would mean that they'd kick over, but they don't. They'll have it at the 20-yard line. We've got a timeout.
Bigger engine. In New York, another tough day for John Elway in Baltimore. The Denver quarterback 0 for 3. He's been sacked once already. Baltimore leads them 3-0. Let's go back to the Orange Bowl.
All right, thank you, and a lot of interest in that ball game because of Elway's first appearance in Baltimore, and he will be the franchise in Denver, but not quite yet. Good news is, bad news is it's what, 92, 94 degrees. Good news is it's cooling off. From the 20-yard line, Tony Collins. Mark it a gain of 7. A.J. Dewey with the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
What we're looking at here is there's A.J. Dewey. I formation for the Patriots. Start off running one way. Baumar gets blown off the line of scrimmage by Wooten and also Brock and ran him right into A.J. Dewey. That's the reason that the play was successful. What they're really trying to do is start one way, cut back the other, get the linebackers flowing one way, and they've been very successful so far in the first quarter.
2nd and 3. Patriots from their own 27-yard line. Miami leading 7-3. Little play action. Lots of time. Pass is complete far side. Lynn Dawson, the tight end, out of bounds. 1st down. A.J. Dewey putting a delayed pressure and then floating out into the coverage.
We'll probably be seeing a lot of that, Charlie. As much as the Patriots want to run, their play action is set up by all their running plays. He was looking over the middle. The thing that Steve Grogan likes to do, throw the square ends to his wide receivers over the middle. Looking for Morgan then, it was covered. Took his outlet, Lynn Dawson on the sideline.
A gain of 6, 1st down, 33-yard line. Second back through is Tony Collins. He does not get through. Doug Betters. Betters again, 4 sacks last week. Good defensive play here. He is off to a great start.
Doug said he had his best game ever last week. He says he can't even remember a play in high school that's that good. Certainly gets into the backfield there. If Collins doesn't have a headache after that, he's got a hard head.
Now, Bob Kreider, who is the starting right tackle, now has come out. Darrell Haley has come in. That was the man that Betters was blowing by. I think he spun his helmet when he went by him. Dewey with the tackle.
That time again, all 11 Dolphins were up on the line of scrimmage. I mention this because it does give a lot of problems, and the quarterback, if he guesses right, can do some good with it. But it's going to be something that Steve Grogan is going to have to deal with probably most of the day because Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator, wants to put pressure and not let him just run the ball against him. He wants to stop him.
Kreider is back in along with 3 wide receivers. 3rd down and 9. 6 in the secondary. Going deep.
Got him.
He's there. He can't get to the ball. Stephen Starr, 3rd-round draft choice. McNeese State, where he was a quarterback, and he beat Langford.
He certainly did. Had a 75-yard touchdown last week. That just goes to show you, Charlie, how versatile those quarterbacks can be.
Oh, you like that? They sent only 3 men. They sent them all deep, kept everybody else in.
They kept the backs in the block. Usually when you're sending both wide receivers straight down the field, you don't need much flare control underneath.
Rich Camarillo to kick.
Tommy Vigorito, of course, injured last week. Ran back every punt for the Miami Dolphins except 2 last year, including 1 touchdown.
Mike Clayton at the 12-yard line. Clayton to the 20. And he'll return to about the 26-yard line. Darrell Wilson was there for the New England Patriots. A 57-yard kick by Rich Camarillo. So the kicking duel is underway, and we'll be back.
Football's very best. The Chiefs clash in the gridiron powwow with the Super Bowl champion Redskins, or the Jets and the Patriots in an Eastern Division showdown, plus hard-hitting regional action on NBC.
This is Charlie Jones and Bob Greasy with 12 minutes, 29 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Miami 7, New England 3. Dolphins with the ball, their own 27-yard line. First down. Super running by Tony Nathan, really making some good moves. Ronnie Lippett and Rick Sanford make the tackle. Boy, he is dangerous. You give him just any kind of a daylight to work with.
Well, you know, Charlie, he also sets up a lot of blocks by doing that. And by that I mean he'll fake like he's going to go inside. The defensive man will step inside. The offensive blocker will then make it easier to block him inside, and then he cuts to the outside. So he can help set up the blocks of the offensive lineman with shifty running like that.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Bruce Hardy comes in. 2 tight ends with the set as Duriel Harris comes out. First down, Miami. Andre Franklin. Julius Adams with the tackle. Bruce Hardy with the lead block. So Miami is coming back with the New England offense. They open on the ground. They stay on the ground.
Yes, you certainly have to look at the Dolphins. Their strength is their running. They were 27th in the league in 1982 in passing. They were number 3 rushing. So their strength also, like New England's, is their running game, and they want to get that untracked here this afternoon.
Gain of 7, first down, 43-yard line, Miami in their own territory. Screen right side, a little stumble by Tony Nathan. Still manages to pick up a yard. Ronnie Lippett was there. Mark it to 44, where it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Ronnie Lippett played his collegiate ball here at the University of Miami. Figures to have a lot of footballs thrown at him this afternoon as the Dolphins realize that he is filling in for Mike Haynes, the All-Pro. He's used to this temperature. What do you think, Charlie?
I don't think anybody's used to this temperature. I want to ask you about that. Overstreet and Bennett are now the 2 running backs, 2nd and 9. And the first back through is Woody Bennett. And Bennett may pick up the first down. Fred Marion from University of Miami of Florida. And as the officials check it out, let's check out the scoreboard. And we have quite a few for you. Games in the National Football League. No score between Seattle and the Jets. Now remember, Seattle has never lost to the Jets in 6 times. Baltimore leading Denver 3-0 first quarter. The return of Elway to where he was drafted.
Wonder if Irsay gave his locker room
That's
speech.
right. He was going to give a locker room speech. Raiders out in front of Houston 6-0. That's on the coast. New Orleans leading the Rams. How about that? Bum Phillips strikes again. First down at the 47-yard line of New England. Woodley with all the time in the world, and now he'll be sacked. Larry McGrew got him, but he still had plenty of time. But good coverage for the secondary. You're shaking your head. He should have done something, right?
There's a good play by Andre Tippett, the linebacker who was dropping back. There was a little play action to the left. He was trying to hit his flanker, Nat Moore, coming across the field, a play the Patriots like to run a lot also. But they fooled all of the defensive backs, but Tippett dropping back into his area. The further Nat Moore ran across the field, the more he was covered by Tippett. Woodley thought he was going to have it, and that's why it waited so long. He had the protection, and just Tippett made a good play.
Loss of 10. 2nd and 20. Overstreet. David Overstreet with a slashing style of running. Fred Marion with the tackle. And he gets maybe 11 yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 9. Now, these are all finals. Pittsburgh over Green Bay, 25-21. Buffalo over Cincinnati by 4. Dallas over St. Louis by 17. Giants in overtime. They win by 3. Washington over Philadelphia by 10. Detroit losing to Cleveland. Browns winning by 5. 3rd down and 9. We've got an update on another score. We'll have it for you, but right now we've got some action. He's open, and it's there. Joe Rose, the tight end. Miami is on the move. Let's put a hold on those other scores. Dolphins are moving for the end zone. Sanford and Marion make the tackle.
A good read by Woodley. Joe Rose makes more big plays for the Miami Dolphins. Percentage-wise, he's not in the game very often. Good protection, going right down the middle, splits the 2 deep safeties. Big play for the Dolphins.
A pickup of about 36 yards to the 15-yard line of New England, where it is 1st down.
Shula gets more out of his 3 tight ends, I think, Charlie, than any other coach in the league. Doesn't really have that Kellen Winslow type that can do it all, but he has 3 tight ends and uses them very well.
Dan Johnson, Bruce Hardy, and Joe Rose are the tight ends. Andre Franklin. And they string him out pretty well. He'll pick up about 4, but they string him out. We have Miami trying to score. We'll be back for that attempt. Let's go to New York.
Thank you, Charlie. You know about the Orange Bowl jinx Miami has over the Patriots. Seattle has a jinx over the Jets. Kurt Warner goes straight up the middle 8 yards. Seattle beating the Jets again. 7-0 2nd quarter. Back to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Larry. I might disagree with beating the Jets once again. They're leading the Jets, but it's always interesting, Bob. Some teams just they feel like they can beat another team, a particular team.
Yeah, we can talk more about that a little bit later. I've got an interesting thought on that.
11-yard line, 2nd and 6. Woodley throws high. He was throwing into good coverage. Reality, throwing it away, hoping possibly that Nat Moore could go high enough to pull it down. Is that a correct read?
Not exactly, Charlie. He had double coverage. Nat Moore is the proper place to throw the ball. He's got single coverage. Claiborne a hard inside technique because he knows he has no help to the inside. Nat gets around him. They were double covering the other side, helping Ronnie Lippett out on Duriel Harris. Sanford went weak side to help out on the double coverage. Good read, just poor execution. Pretty good coverage.
You could have said I was close.
Got to tell it like it is, Charlie. You missed it.
That's true. They're down 6. Just inside the 11-yard line of New England. Joe Rose, the intended receiver. And so Uwe von Schamann will come in with a field goal attempt upcoming.
That was not where David Woodley wanted to throw the ball. He wanted to hit the slant, and Nat Moore coming in behind him. The slant was covered. They were in a little bit of zone. Threw it to Rose, and it really was covered by Andre Tippett.
Was it a mistake to throw it that soon?
Well, that's a quick pattern.
Right.
That's a 3-step drop. The line fires out, and it happens very quickly, which is a good pattern to run down there. But if you don't have something, it's going to happen pretty quickly.
28-yard field goal attempt. Don Strock to hold. Uwe von Schamann. He's got it from 28 yards away. So on the season, Uwe von Schamann is now 5 for 5. 4 out of 4 last week. 10-3. Miami. We'll be back. Bob Greasy, we've talked about the heat. You played in the heat here. What effect does it have on you?
Well, Charlie, it's not so bad today. It used to be a lot worse when they had the artificial turf here. But this is very tough to play. And both teams, though, I think this early in the year are kind of used to it because they've trained in this type of weather. Certainly the Dolphins have. It's been hot up in New England, but it's not easy to play, and you have to drink a lot of fluids and a lot of substitutions.
Uwe von Schamann kicking off. Ricky Smith takes it at the 10. Stumble still returns about 20, 21 yards before Steve Clark brings him down. And so New England will be moving on offense. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. 21 seconds left to go in the first half. Miami leading New England by 7. The Dolphins 10, the Patriots 3. Patriots only scored coming on a 22-yard field goal by John Smith. There is linebacker Ernie Roan being worked on the sideline. No report, so we assume that he is okay. Grogan to throw, has pressure. Cannot scramble out of the pocket. And he'll lose a yard, maybe two. Doug Better's got him. Well, that, I'm not sure if that officially goes as a sack or not. I don't believe it does once that he starts forward.
If it's behind the line of scrimmage,
it does.
It's a sack.
We'll give him a sack. So that's his 5th on the year. You know all about sacks.
I'll tell you, being up here in the booth, Charlie, I've never gotten sacked in the last couple of years, and on Monday mornings I feel great. That fella right there didn't feel too good after the game last week.
Tony Collins to the 33, gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is taking charge. By the Army, be all you can be. And by Valvoline, everything you need in a motor oil. Along with Bob Greasy, I'm Charlie Jones. We have a blimp blocking our view of the time. We have 3 mini blimps floating around the Orange Bowl. 5:21, that's it. Time remaining. First half. 6 men in the secondary for the Dolphins. Miami leading by 7, 10-3. 3rd down and 7. Big play for New England. The reason? They fail. Dolphins could have good field position. They go one-on-one. Incomplete. Paul Langford picked up the coverage. Tony Collins, the intended receiver. Langford stayed right with it.
Good coverage by Paul Langford. Talking with Don Shula last week, he said that William Judson and Paul Langford were probably the 2 best athletes on his team. Those 2 players didn't even start until Don McNeil was hurt, and then Judson has come in at cornerback to replace McNeil. But that's a pretty strong comment when 2 of your best athletes not even starting on your ball club.
All of the highlights and scores. NFL 83 at halftime. Rich Camarillo will be kicking to Mark Clayton. Oh, here's another beauty. And Clayton runs into one of the officials and then takes it on the bounce. They say, no, it bounced on the sideline, out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Hang time was 4.9 seconds on that kick by Camarillo. And it hit right on the sideline at the 4. And so Miami will take over a 58-yard kick, 4:51 left to go, first half. Bob Lewis, the field judge, was knocked down by Mark Clayton, and then the end of this great kick, right there, 4-yard line, sideline, Rich Camarillo. Hang time, 4.9.
It's about the way you hit your 9-iron, isn't it, Charlie? Right there and stop it?
Only if there's a sand trap. Miami from their own 4-yard line. Franklin. And Andra has some breathing room. A gain of 8 to the 12. It'll be 2nd down and a pair. Clayton Weissoon making the tackle as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WVIT Channel 30, New Britain, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven.
This is Charlie Jones, Bob Greasy, along with our producer George Finkel, Ted Nathanson, our director, and the Dolphins leading New England 10-3 with 4:18 and counting. Time remaining in the second quarter. Tony Nathan. He'll pick up the first down. 18-yard line. A gain of 6. Andre Tippett making the tackle.
Here we see Andre Tippett, second-year defensive linebacker, playing off the tight end. Then you got Andre Franklin blocking on him, plays off of him, gets a little help from his friends. Good play.
And you'll notice Tippett playing outside linebacker on the right side, and then when they go to The four-man front that he will move inside as a defensive left end. First down, Miami. From their 18. Nathan to the 23. He has 5. It'll be second down 5. Luther Henson, the nose tackle, is the man who brings him down. Seattle owns the Jets. You had a story about that. They now lead 10-0. What about that? One team over another, or one particular stadium?
Well, you know, the Dolphins have beaten New England here 15 times in a row. The Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills 20 times in a row. Dolphins have trouble in New England, and they say why. A lot of times it's a stadium. A lot of times it's the turf. Some of the times it's just the colors of the jerseys or what they wear on their helmets.
We'll add a footnote to that statement about helmets in just a moment. Franklin, first down, 30-yard line, gain of 8. Toby Williams with the tackle. Dwight Stevens with a good block in the offensive line. Now, when the New York Jets changed their helmet design, the Dolphins had more problems. You had more problems with them, right?
We used to handle the Jets pretty well, Charlie, until about 5 or 6 years ago. They changed their helmet design, and from that time on, they beat the Dolphins 5 or 6 times in a row. It wasn't until last year that the Dolphins beat them. So you think there's some psychology going on in the National Football League? There certainly is.
The helmet design beat you, Donna. Over the middle, deep. Great catch by Dan Johnson. Roland James, a strong safety, collared him. And a perfect pass.
This was just a great throw by Woodley. A good read. Dan Johnson makes a great catch. A lot of people have been asking, why is Dan Johnson playing? Because he can get deep when a defense is playing too deep zone. He can get down the middle. He's got enough speed, and yet he's still a good blocker.
A gain of 33 yards on the play. A first down. The 2-minute warning now being given to both pitches. So we've got a timeout. It is still very warm, and Miami still leads. We'll be back. 2 minutes left to go in the first half. 2-minute warning is given, not for commercial purposes, although we do take them. There's several rule changes in the last 2 minutes. For instance, a fumble in the last 2 minutes, anywhere on the field, any down, only the offensive player who fumbles it can pick it up and advance it. Little fake on a pitch out, quick screen right side to Duriel Harris. And he gets out of bounds at about the 31, stopping the clock, a gain of 6, second down and 4. Ronnie Lippett was there. Don't forget, next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the baseball game of the week features a National League East panel between the Cardinals and the Phillies. Some areas you'll see the Detroit Tigers take on the Boston Red Sox. So check your local listings for the game in your area. Now through the League Championship Series. Stay with us for the best in baseball here on NBC Sports.
That throw, Charlie, was a little high. It had been thrown a little bit more upfield. It would have been easy to take the ball and run. You want it to be thrown out there hard because it's a little quick screen to the wide receiver.
Woody Bennett has a yard to the 29. It was third down a little over 3, a second a little over 3, so now be third and a couple. Luther Henson is the man who stopped him. Offensive changes. Roy Foster comes in, and Dan Johnson comes in.
Short yardage for Miami Dolphins. Dolphins have plenty of time. The ball is on about the 29. 3 timeouts remaining, going into a little bit of a win.
And they want to take a little bit of a timeout to discuss this situation. When we come back, we'll talk about what goes on in a sideline discussion between the quarterback and the head coach. You'll be amazed.
In New York, watch Greg Pruitt of the Raiders. Stops in his tracks, heads right, clear sailing. The Raiders are doing it to the Oilers. 13-0, second quarter. Back to Miami now.
That game on the West Coast, as expected, though, the Raiders out in front of the Oilers. Now, this is a moment ago. The conversation is starting. What really goes on, Bob?
Well, I think the first 30 seconds, Woodley was complaining about the fact that the 30-second clock had run down too fast. Then he got himself a drink of Gatorade. Now I think they're just talking about what play they're going to run and what they want to do. Half the time, he just asked for a towel to cool off with. I think Shula made a suggestion, and he said it's a suggestion, and it's up to Woodley to make the call.
Roy Foster, number 61, a blocking tight end on the left side. Sweep to his side with Overstreet, the ball carrier, and he has the first down. 24-yard line. Gains 5, first down. Ingram with the tackle. Franklin and Foster with the block.
Roy Foster, 61, as a tackle, put in as a blocking tight end, does a good job on Ingram.
So there's not a lot of mystique at the sideline in the conference.
Some of them are very interesting conversations. Others are water breaks.
First down for the 24, far side, knocked away. Good defensive play by Ray Claiborne. Duriel Harris, the intended receiver. I always thought it was a meeting of the masterminds.
Occasionally it is, Charlie. Other times it's you don't know what they're talking about, but here's a good play by Claiborne. It's a down and out. It's tough to throw outs in this area of the field because it's hard to run the cornerbacks off. They only have to cover 25 or 30 yards. They don't have to cover the entire field, so quick slants, things of that sort are good down in this area of the field.
Now, in case you forgot, when Rich Camarillo kicked, it went out of bounds right at the 4-yard line. Miami has moved from their own 4 to the New England 24. Pump fake. It's caught. 5-yard line. Nat Moore saw the problem, did a little swing comeback pattern along the sideline.
Woodley sees the weak safety blitzing, looks to his outlet didn't see it, comes back off. Nat Moore's running his route. Good sliding reception, first down.
We've got a timeout.
I want you to meet Carol, a happy person. United Way works here, and thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
The public service for the National Football League. Here you see Don Strock with Don Shula. Some people say that the reason the Strock was signed is so Shula has somebody to talk to on the sidelines during the ballgame.
Well, he has a lot of people to talk to, but not many on the team that understand the offense as well as Don Strock does.
Any chance that Strock would play today?
I don't think so. He was not working with the first 2 units this week, and it would only be if the other 2 got injured that he would be in there.
First down, goal to go, 5-yard line. To the 2-yard line is Tony Nathan. It'll be second down, goal to go. 30 seconds and counting on the game clock. Andre Tippett with the tackle. Hurry up offense. You throw here?
You got to throw.
Stop the clock. 16 seconds left. So it'll be third down and goal to go.
Dolphins with 1 timeout remaining. They can either run or throw here, Charlie, because they could always stop the clock with their timeout.
Now with Bruce Hardy and Roy Foster coming in. Foster again raising his hand, checking with the officials, letting know he will be a tight end. Number 61 is not a receiver's number. That's the reason they have to check in every time. So you suspect they're going to run to the left side or his side. Franklin and Woody Bennett, the 2 big backs, are in. Foster's a tight end on the left side outside of John Geisler. And now, moving on the left wing is Bruce Hardy, a tight end. So the strength is to the left.
Got to go to the right.
So you say they go to the right, of course.
Good pass.
Rolls all alone is Dan Johnson. Why did they have to go to the right? Because everything was set up showing strength left?
Well, for 2 reasons. Number 1, the backs were slanted to the right. Here you see Dan Johnson on the right side. It's a little play action. He slips inside of Lippett, gets back in the deep part of the end zone. Woody can either throw it to Johnson or to Woody Bennett in the short flat. But the reason that you think they're going to run right is because they're slanting that way. The other reason was Bruce Hardy was over there. He wanted to line up where Johnson was because he knew who was going to catch the touchdown pass.
All right. Uwe von Schaman with the extra point attempt. And it is good. 17-3. Miami leading, 12 seconds left to go. And for Dan Johnson of Iowa State, number 87, his first NFL touchdown.
You'll remember that one. He's playing a very good ball game. He caught a big pass on that drive to set that touchdown up.
You, as a quarterback, do you consider that that was a long key play of the drive that he deserves to go back to him again when you're in that close, when you have that kind of an option?
Well, you don't think about this guy got me down there, so I'm going to let him score the touchdown. You think more of how can I score this touchdown, and maybe even balance it off. If another player has scored a touchdown or two, and they may be looking for him, you'll go to your other back or your other receiver just so you can spread it out, because defenses do know tendencies, and if you like to go to one man, they'll double up on him.
Miami 17, New England 3. 12 seconds left to go. Second quarter. Ricky Smith is the deep back. Uwe von Schamann will be kicking off, and just 12 seconds on the game clock. Stay with us for halftime. Lynn Berman, NFL 83. They'll be updating with scores and highlights of all of the action in the NFL, and we've got a lot of it today. On the return by Ricky Smith, we mentioned the last 2 minutes of play, some rule changes. Joe Rose makes the tackle. One of the rule changes is that on a kickoff, the clock does not start until the ball has been legally touched in the field of play. Rest of the game, it starts with the kick. There's a look at the scoring drive, 96 yards, 13 plays, just over 4.5 minutes.
You say that so casually, Charlie. 96 yards. If you were ever lined up in the offensive huddle in that end zone and you saw those 96 yards you had to go, you wouldn't mention it so casually.
But we talked them all the way down. We talked them all the way through it. Now with 7 seconds left to go. That's a good point. New England at their own 29-yard line. First down. Grogan keeps both backs in. They don't have anybody to pick up. Swing to the right flat to Van Egan. Out to the 41-yard line. He has 12. And with that play, time runs out. So we come to the end of a very warm first half. At kickoff, the temperature about 107. Dropped down to the mid-90s. The offense of Miami has been very hot. New England has not been able to throw any cold water on the Dolphins. It's Miami 17 and New England 3 in the first half of this confrontation in the Orange Bowl. So officially, that is the end of the first half. It is Miami 17, New England 3. NFL 83 halftime activities will continue after this message from your local station. New York, NFL 83 to check the rest of the league.
52 games completed in this NFL season. The home team has won.
Bob Greasy, still halftime. We're just a minute or so away from kickoff here. What will New England have to do in the second half to get back in the ballgame, besides the obvious thing of scoring points? How can they go about it?
Well, Charlie, I think they have to stay with their game plan. I think the strength of their team is their running game. There's plenty of time left. They've got 2 quarters to play. They're only 2 touchdowns down. If they can get back in the game, take the first possession and score, they'll be right back in the ballgame. It's too late yet to panic.
Do you feel at halftime in this situation, you've been there on both sides, do you feel when you're down by 14 that there is a tendency to panic? We've got to get it back immediately?
Well, I think when New England is obviously doesn't have that great a passing game. They were 28th last year, and they're hurting this year, obviously. So there is a little bit more urgency because they can't make the big play. They certainly have some wide receivers that can. They're young. Morgan has a hamstring problem, so he may not be going on out. So the tendency is to go with your strength, and the strength is their running game, and it's not too late to really get that done with the running game.
Now, you mentioned Stanley Morgan. Do you have a feeling that the hamstring is bothering him perhaps a little bit more than we thought that it might? Because we don't see him going. Yeah. We don't see him going along. We don't see him thus far as a threat.
They're sending the younger guys, the faster guys deep, and using him more for possession. I know it is bothering him, and I think if it was ever going to go, it was going to go on a long, deep route, and I think they know that and are probably using the younger guys to go deep. Starring certainly can play and certainly can catch the long ones. He did that last week.
When you look at the sideline of the Miami Dolphins, you see a lot of names and names of the past and names that ring a lot of bells of those who have followed the Miami Dolphins.
Well, there's one right there, Bob Matheson, number 53. Is a new assistant coach with Miami Dolphins. Has been recently with Duke University, where he was a coach, and now back in the special teams coach for the Miami Dolphins, and is really helping coach the linebackers. 2 of his proteges are on the Dolphin team, Emmett Tilley from Duke, and also who's the other one from Duke that's on the team? Charles Bowser.
Right.
Both of them linebackers that played at Duke when Matheson was there. Matheson's doing a good job for him.
Now, there's a problem with the clock. The clock has already started. It's now 4:14 and counting, so the clock has to be reset. And that's the reason for for the delay here. You mentioned Bob Matheson and his number. Of course, the defense was numbered after him, was named after him, and that was kind of a Shula innovation.
Well, it was a Bill Arnsparger innovation.
Like I said, it was a Bill Arnsparger innovation.
Coordinator. And of course, Shula, anything goes through the Dolphins goes through Don Shula.
Okay.
But Bill Arnsparger took it to him, and Matheson was the key guy in that scheme. But it's interesting to note they were called the no-name defense back in the early 70s. They have a very good defense now. It's similar to that no-name defense. They really don't have any big-name players.
John Smith, it is high, and it is way short. Maybe taken by an up back. It is. This is Mike Kozlowski. As Fulton Walker was the D-back, and I'm not sure if that's planned or not. George Peoples was there for the special teams. I don't think John Smith is kicking off that well.
I don't think he is either. He's kicking with a wind, obviously. He should have kicked it better than that, so maybe that is their plan. But if they're that afraid of Fulton Walker, they certainly are giving him good field position being on the 33-yard line.
All right, offensively for Miami, Woodley, Nathan Franklin. They're the receivers, Harris Moore, Dan Johnson, the tight end who caught a touchdown pass. Offensive line, Giesler, Kuchenberg, Stevenson, Newman, and Eric Laxo. So Miami's offense opens up the second half at their own 33-yard line, first down. Dolphins out in front by 14 points, 17-3 as we open the second half. And Tony Nathan gets the call. 40-yard line, gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Roland James with the tackle. We'll look at that defense. Williams, Owens, and Adams, basic 3-4. Of course, there'll be a lot of changes within that, as you know. McGrew, Nelson, Weissoon, and Tippett. Tippett will be a linebacker, also a defensive lineman in a 4-3 set. Lippett, Claiborne, James, and Sanford. But the Dolphins have been able to run at will against this defense.
Well, the defense, as we mentioned earlier, has some major problems due to injury.
Andre Franklin. And he'll come up about a half-yard shy of the first down. Clayton Weissoon of Angelo State, taken in the 3rd round of the draft a year ago, played all of last season, makes the tackle, so it should be 3rd down, about a half a yard to go for the first down.
That defense, Charlie, is missing their perennial All-Pro Mike Haynes, who is in a contract dispute. It was a very tough cornerback to throw against. Ken Sims, who is their best defensive lineman, #1 last year in the entire NFL draft. And they're playing today without Don Blackman, who is a linebacker, probably one of the big play guys on the defense. He's not in there today, too. Of course, Steve Nelson, who we haven't mentioned, and Weissoon, both coming off of injuries, not up to par yet.
And Dombrowski is out of the secondary also. So they do have some defensive problems with some people missing. First down, Miami. 45-yard line. Foster and Franklin with Tony Nathan, the ball carrier. McGrew and Williams with the tackle. First down, we'll take a look at ground level.
Here you see it coming right at you. It's a little pitch around the right side. Franklin blocking the first man out. Short yardage. Nathan doing a good job of just getting the first down yardage, going back in for another first down.
Overstreet is in. Nathan comes out of the offensive set. It is Franklin, the ball carrier. Andre Tippett has 3 to the 48. Second down, 7. We've talked a lot about injuries, and of course, Larry Gordon, of the linebacker for the Dolphins, number 50, died of heart failure this past June when he was jogging in Arizona, and that of the Dolphins in his memory all wearing that little number 50 on their helmet. Second down and 7. Miami with 2 long drives in the ballgame, one of 75 yards and the other of 96 yards, Bob. Here's the pass, and it's on target. Duriel Harris. Woodley looks like a different thrower this week than last week against that Buffalo defense.
Well, it's a little bit different defense, too, but he has a lot more confidence. Last year, he didn't complete a pass to his tight end or his wide receivers. We've seen on the last few drives 2 big plays to his tight end down the middle, and here's a big play to Duriel Harris. He definitely is playing much better this week.
Ronnie Lippett with a tackle, a gain of 17, first down at the New England 35-yard line. Tim Golden has replaced Clayton Weishuhn as a linebacker for the Patriots. Overstreet and Bennett are the running back. And it is Overstreet, sweep left side. Kuchenberg leading the way. 5 yards to the 30. It'll be 2nd and 5. Tim Golden with the tackle. Ed Newman also a lead block. Now let's check the scoreboard. Well, the Jets got on the boards, but Seattle continues at this point anyway to hold the jinx. And now Denver and Baltimore, they're tied 3-3. Raiders by 10 over Houston. That's in Los Angeles. New Orleans over the Rams by 3. Heard an interesting comment from Bum Phillips. His wedding anniversary always falls during football season, and last year he got a rose from his wife, and it said, Helen 29, Bum 0. You blew it again. He missed their anniversary. David Overstreet just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Dennis Owens with the tackle.
Charlie, if the Dolphins move down and score here, as we watch Von Schaman warming up, it could be very tough for the Patriots. There would be a little bit more urgency to their offense if they're down by 21 points the first time they get the ball in the second half. But this is exactly what Shula wants to do. Speaking offensively for the Dolphins, they'd love to move it down, eat up some clock, and get 7 points on the board. 3
wide receivers in. Joe Rose is the tight end. He's a good receiver. 3rd and 5. Key down for the Patriots. Inside handoff, sweep right side, Overstreet. They hit him. They drop him for a loss at the 39-yard line. Loss of 9. And it'll be 4th down and 14. Steve Nelson, the linebacker, slanting in, made the play. Lester Williams, number 72, also there. There's Nelson. Boy, what a change one play can make.
We see Tony Nathan, 22, trying to make a block. Steve Nelson getting in, making a play. I don't think Nelly's feeling that good. He's coming off of an injury in training camp, and Ron Meyer was saying before the game, they've got so many injuries in their defensive unit, Weishuhn and Nelson and all the players that are missing. They've really had a problem defensively stopping people.
First punt by Reggie Roby. There's your hang time. Fair catch is called for. At fumble, Miami will have the ball. The hang time was 6.1 seconds.
That ball was wet when it came back down.
Mike Brown recovered it. It's worth repeating. 23-yard kick. What a difference a play makes.
Reggie Roby has been an outstanding addition to the Miami Dolphins. He twice led the NCAA in punting at the University of Iowa. Unseated Tom Oros for the punting job for the Miami Dolphins has done nothing but kick tremendously in preseason for the Miami Dolphins.
In the opener last week, a 43-yard average, with one of the kicks out of 7 going only 1 yard. The other 6 averaged 50 yards. Here's the offense, 18-yard line of New England, first down. Chance to, in reality, wrap this game up. Tony Nathan has 3 to the 15. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Clayton Weishuhn makes the tackle.
Ron Meyer said before the game, Charlie, what he wanted to do was keep his defense off the field. The second half, they've done nothing but be on the field. In addition, the Dolphins have had 3 long drives, 2 of them producing touchdowns and the other one field goals. So the opening drive, the Patriots kept the ball, but up until that, after that, his theory has really not come to play here in this ball game.
And we're 6 minutes and 10 seconds into the third quarter. 15-yard line, Franklin. 7-yard line. Has the first down. Needed 7. He got 8. Jeff Tays leading the way. Toby Williams with the tackle. First down, goal to go. They'll mark it at the 6-yard line.
Hunter Franklin, making a Pro Bowl in his second season, was really a blocking back at Nebraska. His college days, came in here as a heralded blocking back. Played well his first year and really blossomed last year into a great runner.
First down, goal to go, Miami. We are now 7 minutes into the third quarter.
Comes Sanford.
Joni Nathan. Mark it for no gain. It'll be second down and goal. Nelson and Weissoon with the tackle.
We mentioned earlier both teams like the weak safety blitz. This is a shot of Rick Sanford blitzing. They would like to catch him in a pass situation where they could cause something to happen. Dolphins in a run right up the middle. Nothing doing on the safety blitz.
Now Woodley's calling his own plays.
Woodley's calling his own plays. As long as he's ahead by 14 points, he's doing a good job. Last week he had a little problem against Buffalo, but they have a very aggressive defense.
Rolling right. Throwing. Incomplete. Third down, goal to go. Nat Moore, the intended receiver. Is that a tough pass to throw, rolling right, throwing right?
The younger you are, the easier it is. The older you get, the tougher it is.
That's true for everything in life, but tell me why.
All college quarterbacks, right? All college quarterbacks can throw on the run.
Yeah.
And the more you're in the National Football League, the more you like to sit in the pocket. You don't like to run as much. You don't work on it as much. You don't practice at it as much. And it just seems the longer you stay in the league, the less you roll out and the less you're good at it.
Third down, goal to go. Hit a spectator. Is that a cameraman? Yeah. Oh, he may have the shot of the day. And it may be the shot of the day to his head, but it's close. One or the other.
Woodley was looking for Joe Rose, his tight end. And then he comes off of him and throws it to the photographer.
Ooh, never saw it. Oh.
Never saw it. He may have a great shot of it. What are you talking about?
There he is with a big smile.
Well, we're glad you're feeling all right.
Everybody's a star for 15 seconds, right? No. All right, here's Strock to hole. Uwe von Schamann from the 14-yard line, and a field goal attempt at 24 yards. Now, going back into last season in the playoffs, von Schamann is now 8 out of 8 in his last field goal attempt. He's got it. He's now 9 out of 9 on the string. This year, he is 6 out of 6.
Yep.
No longer a secret. And he will be kicking off. Ernie Rohn with an ice pack on his left knee. Ricky Smith is the deep back in the middle. He is, of course, the one who fumbled the fair catch a moment ago. He'll have another opportunity. 6-yard line. 20. Good return. There's about 21 yards on the return. Woody Bennett makes the tackle. New England will be moving on offense, but right now we'll take a timeout. 6:54 left to go. We're in the third. Miami leads. They're working on David Overstreet, and I am not sure if he wears contact lens or not, but if he does, that's kind of like what it looks like from here.
They had a mirror out down there, Charlie, so I think it is a contact.
We're now 8 minutes and 6 seconds. This is Lyle Blackwood. We'll update that story right after this play. 8 minutes and 6 seconds into the second half. First time the offense has had the ball for New England. Charles Bowser with the sack. Second of the ball game for the Dolphins. Now let's go back to Lyle Blackwood. Early on, Bob Greasy mentioned he's bothered by the flu. Very hot, very muggy day. 105 degrees on the field of kickoff. You weren't sure that he would really, a flu just drains your body. And yet he's played the whole ball game.
Sure, he's taken lots of fluids and lots of liquids, and sometimes as quick as that will come to him, it will leave him, and he's in there. Of course, being a weak safety, he can kind of take it easy a little bit, but he's certainly still in there playing.
2nd and 16. Grogan's pass incomplete. Lynn Dawson's tight end in the hands. Good pass. Blackwood hit it, jarred the ball loose. That was brother Glenn Blackwood. Let's look at the offense very quickly for the Patriots with Grogan, Collins, and Van Egan. Those are the basic running backs and receivers, Morgan, Jones, and Dawson. That offensive line, Holloway, Hannah-Brock, Wooten, and Kreider. And we can look at the defense with the Betters, Baumhauer, and Bocamper. Now we're still looking at the offense. Maybe we don't have time, but we'll get the defense in. Don't worry about it. 3rd down, 16. And those defenses, they were just cleaning Overstreet's contact. That was the call. 6 men in the secondary now for the Dolphins. 3 wide receivers are in for New England from the shotgun. High snap, bobbled a bit. Pump fake. Grogan, one of the better scramblers, but he can't pick up. That's too much yardage to pick up. He gets out to the 27. But he's, 9 yards shy of the first down. Mike Kozlowski comes up. Makes the tackle. When you're an extra man in the secondary, you kind of like that situation. You can really take a shot at the quarterback. Now, Rich Camarillo will be kicking. And Mark Clayton is set for the return. And we are seeing today 2 of the finest punters in the National Football League. Taken at the 23-yard line. And a fired-up Mark Clayton returns it to the 43. 20 yards on the return. Dwight Wheeler with the tackle. That was a little bit of a line drive. Hang time was only 3.8 seconds, but it's covered. Check the name tag. These are just a few of the Killer Bees. Remember the no-name defense? Well, now it's the Killer Bees, but it's the same type of defense, isn't it, Bob?
Exactly. Arnsbarger, same type. Team defense.
Now Miami's offense for their own 43-yard line first down with Nathan and Franklin, the 2 setbacks. Harris is split wide to the near side. Changes of an offensive line. Foster is in. And a sack upcoming for New England. That is their second sack. Roland James got this one.
Strong safety blitz. Roland James.
Next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern Time, NFL 83 starts today with a look at the Redskins quarterback, Joe Theismann. Then regional action on NBC, Richard Todd, Freeman McNeil, the Jets against the Southern Patriots. Kansas City Chiefs going against the Washington Redskins, Pittsburgh at Houston, Baltimore at Buffalo. And it'll be Fouts against Zorn, San Diego. Take on the Seattle Seahawks. So check the local listings in your area for the game and time. Going deep. And caught. Juriel Harris. Touchdown. 57 yards.
Take a look at the pass blocking. Woodley goes 3.5 quarters before throwing deep on Ronnie Lippett. Juriel Harris. There we see him battling for the ball. Juriel Harris is one of the better receivers in the league at jumping, going up on a jump ball type of situation. Good runner after the catch. Touchdown, Miami Dolphins.
Let me make a numbers correction. The drive was 57 yards. The touchdown pass even longer because of the previous sack. Here's the extra point attempt. And it is good. Miami 27. Harris officially 63 yards on the touchdown pass. Closing the door on the Patriots for the day. Ron Myers, head coach, New England far side. Shulett, head coach, near side. Patriots will be 0-2. Dolphins will be 2-0. Next week, Miami at the Raiders. And the New England Patriots will take on the Jets. Here's Ricky Smith on the return. Out to the 33-yard line.
We got 1.25 to go yet, Charlie.
That's right.
Not like you're closing up the shop.
That's
here.
right. Catching an early flight.
No.
There it is. The drive, 57 yards. Notice, 63 yards in the touchdown pass for that sack was the extra 6 yards.
Right. You know,
if New England gets back to it, they have to do it now, and they have to do it very quickly.
I've been in this situation a few times. Down by a big score, you got another 1.25 to play. Patriots haven't been playing well. They still want to go out and score touchdowns. Could help them for next week.
Mike Van Egan from the 33 to the 37-yard line. Second down and 6. Mark Brown replacing Ernie Roan at linebacker, the rookie from Purdue. Makes the tackle.
what I was saying, though, Charlie, that, you know, what the Patriots haven't moved the ball all day. They have a quarter and a half to go. Even if they don't win this game, they could get some things clicking in their offense, either running or throwing the ball. It would help them in the next few games. Sooner or later, they've got to get that offense going, and this is a good time to work on it.
After this play, give me some examples of what you're talking about. There's one example. Cedric Jones on the receiving end, first down. So give me some specifics, some things to watch for now.
Just what you saw there. Throwing to Cedric Jones, throwing to Lynn Dawson, his tight end, working. Just the play calling, the execution. Him, Grogan, throwing to his wide receivers, the offensive line, pass blocking, getting in the groove. A lot of these players haven't played together because of injuries the entire time. This is a good time for them. If they don't win the ball game, at least they'll get some momentum going for next week.
Van Egan, 5 yards to the 50, 2nd and 5. Charles Bowser with the tackle as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WVIT Channel 30, New Britain, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven.
From the Orange Bowl, this is Charlie Jones along with Bob Greasy. 2:45, time remaining. We're in the third quarter. The sun coming through, been a bit overcast. Very hot, very humid. Miami 27, New England 3. A.J. Dewey, he is everywhere on defense for the Dolphins. We'll be following his progress. He, you know, different positions. Good catch by Clarence Weathers. And a first down. 33-yard line of New England. Gain of 17. Lyle Blackwood makes the tackle.
Weathers is in there now for Stanley Morgan, who is out again, having a hamstring problem. We don't know how severe it is.
They say the report that we just got there, icing it, probably will not be back. No reason for him to be back right now. You want to get him well for the rest of the season. He's still got 14 more games. Tony Collins in motion, and Van Egan gets the call. 3 yards to the 30. 2nd down, 7. Bob Baumhauer with the tackle. Now, first down. They've been going with Van Egan and coming back 2nd down with the pass. That's been the tendency thus far in this drive, and it's working. Robert Weathers comes in. Tony Collins comes out. You saw a moment ago the shot of A.J. Dewey. We told you about the fact that he plays all, you know, he plays down lineman, up line, linebacker, a little bit of everywhere. He's checking with Arnsberger on the sideline as he is setting up the different defenses. Grogan, fumble. As he is sacked, recovered by New England. John Hanna recovered it. 3rd sack for the Dolphins.
Grogan going back, throwing against the zone coverage. Nobody is open. Tries to move around a little bit. Still has to bring it down. He was really racked up last week against the Colts. 7 sacks. Here we'll take a look at A.J. One of the few times he doesn't blitz, they send the other linebacker, Mark Brown, dropping back in his zone, just reading his eyes, moving around. They don't ask A.J. to do that very often, but occasionally to break a key that any team has on him, they'll drop back into coverage.
Brudzinski with that last sack. 3rd down and 10. Good catch, 15-yard line. Clarence Weathers. First down. Now, in case, you know, you weren't watching us the first half, it's important, I think, that we tell you again the Clarence Weathers story. He's a rookie, brother of Robert Weathers, a running back drafted in the 2nd round last year. Clarence played freshman ball at Delaware State. Has not played since his freshman year. Played only touch ball. Was working out with his brother. They saw him, they signed him.
And Stanley Morgan is not in the game now, and I think it's significant to point out that he is in there ahead of Starring and Wilson, who are 2nd and 3rd round draft choices.
Back after these messages, local station.
Weekdays at 7:30 on Channel 30.
He looks like an offensive lineman, doesn't he? Looks like half of an offensive line is what he looks like. Robert Weathers.
He was a fine player in his days.
Oh, yeah. Don Strock returning to his familiar place on the sideline. We don't expect to see.
He always wears that jacket. It could be 95 or 100 degrees in here, and he's wearing that jacket. But in talking to Don, the reason he was holding out was he really wanted to go to a place where he had an opportunity to play. He felt like his position here was as a backup, and he really wants to play. And he looked around the USFL and some of the other teams in the league. When those deals fell through, he came back for the Dolphins.
2nd down and 8. Over the middle, he's there. If he holds on, yes, it is Lynn Dawson with a touchdown. So, New England accomplishing what you said that they wanted to do. They have a little off. Miami leading 27-9. And now 27-10 with the extra point.
That was the first touchdown, Charlie, against the Dolphins.
Steve Grogan on the phone.
Talking to offensive coordinator Lou Erber upstairs, undoubtedly.
Either that or E.T., one or the other. Now, Miami not expecting an onside kick here. And they were right. Fulton Walker on the return. Flag is down. 2 flags are down. Walker returns to the 33-yard line. Then we'll have to mark up the flags. Fred Marion on the special teams along with Stephen Starring.
Illegal hands pushing it back on the return, number 11.
That was on quarterback Jim Jensen. Now, Jensen was the number 3 quarterback. Strock came back. They moved into wide receiver and also a special teams player.
I worked with Jim.
From Boston University.
Boston College, or Boston University.
Yes.
I worked with Jim when I was coaching that year with the Dolphins, and Jim has got a lot of ability. He said earlier this week, when he came back, when Strock came back to the Dolphins, that his future as a quarterback is not really with the Miami Dolphins. And he's correct. They've drafted Dan Marino, number 1 this year. Woodley is young. Strock has come back as a backup for insurance. And if he's going to play in the National Football League or the USFL, he realizes it's going to be with another team. Shula likes him because he's a good athlete.
First down. Woodley 10 of 17, over 200 yards. On the reverse, Tony Nathan. He'll lose a yard.
Steve Nelson, the key of the New England Patriots defense, the captain, a long-time veteran, great player. Wasn't fooled by that little halfback reverse, as they call it. Good hit.
Is Miami now going to show some things to bother the Raiders who they play next week, to make them work a little harder, show a wrinkle here or a wrinkle there? So it'll be in the films. They'll have to spend some time worrying about it. Is that part of the strategy now?
Most definitely. They're going to still try and do some things positively to win this ball game. But they're also may show some things that may worry the next opponent.
2nd 11, sweep right side, Tony Nathan. Andre Tippett with the tackle. Gain of a couple to the 16. John Elway, how he is doing, let's have a report.
In Baltimore, John Elway from the shotgun. Blitz up the middle by Vernon Maxwell and Greg Graceland. Maxwell spills him. Here they come, boring up the middle. Vernon Maxwell takes him down. The score in Baltimore, 3-3.
Bob, he is going, that was Marv Levy, the old coach, giving us the update now. He's going to see a lot of blitzing this year, isn't he?
He certainly is. And Vernon Maxwell is a very excellent rookie for the Baltimore coach.
Flag on the play. Pass is complete. Nat Moore. Play goes outside the 30-yard line. Ray Claiborne was there for the defense, but now we'll go back and check out the flag. Interesting. You know, you mentioned this in the first half.
Offense.
Now, that's a mental mistake against the Dolphins. They've probably been penalized more in this ball game than in any ball game the last year or so that I can recall.
Well, they had major penalties in the first half. The first 3 were major. 1 face mask and 1 clipping and then a holding.
Take the ball back to the 11.
Offense.
3rd down and 14. Let's check the scoreboard. Seattle is still leading the Jets. The jinx holds so far. Denver-Baltimore 3-3 tie. Raiders 13-6 over you. It'd be funny, though. Denver-Baltimore, the return of Elway, where he was a draft choice. But if they went into overtime, and they lengthened the afternoon. Third down 14 here. Miami leading 27-10. First down, 32-yard line. Duriel Harris on the receiving end of a David Woodley pass.
Duriel having a big day. Here you see the Dolphin offensive line protecting for Woodley. Steps up and throws. Woodley is looking very good this week, Charlie. Last week he had his problems. This week he seems more positive, more confident. Of course, Duriel dropped one for him last week, too. Woodley is playing much better, and so is Duriel Harris.
A gain of 21 yards to the 32-yard line. First down. 11:41 left to go in the ball game. 27-10, Miami leading by 17. Looking right, waiting too long. Toby Williams gets the sack. That is the third for the New England Patriots in the ball game. So New England with 2 sacks last week, and now they have 3 here.
The Patriots used a little bit different type of coverage than they have been using most of the ball game, and threw Woodley off a little bit. Hence, he took a little bit too much time in the sack. Toby Williams was a 10th round draft choice that made this ball club.
Loss of 7, second and 17. Inside handoff to Tony Nathan, 31-yard line. So it'll be third down and about 11. Toby Williams with the tackle.
Reggie Roby there, he kind of gets upset when the offense makes the first down. He says, "I'd like to punt, and I only get to punt 2 or 3 times a game. I don't get to work that often."
Eddie Hill in the offensive set. 6 men in the secondary. Incomplete. Pattern was cut off by Duriel Harris. He ran into double coverage, cut the pattern off, and by that time the ball was already in the air.
Exactly. A lot of people may think that the quarterback is at fault there. There you see Don Shula talking to Harris. He was supposed to run release inside, come up and run a deep out where the ball was thrown. It changed his route when the coverage was pretty good by Claiborne.
And now Reggie Roby will be kicking.
Yeah, they're talking it over there right there. And the coach standing right in between them to make sure none of them was hedging him anyway.
Ricky Smith set for the return. Fields it at the 19-yard line. 4 seconds on the hang time, and the return to the 37-yard line. Ronnie Lippett with a block on the return. 10 minutes, 13 seconds left to go in the ball game. It is Miami 27 and New England 10. We'll be back in just a moment. Conferences on the sidelines, but one thing, Don Shula never seems to be happy during a ball game. Is that true?
Well, there are times when he is happy, but I think his concentration level, if he sees something going on, like right here, he wants to get it straightened out immediately. If there's a mix-up between his quarterback and wide receiver, he wants to get it straightened out as soon as he can, and middle of the game is not too soon.
New England from their own 37-yard line, far side. Tony Collins. Collins down the sideline and then out of bounds. And they will mark him out at the 48-yard line of Miami. So a gain of 15 and a first down.
Now I think we're going to see a lot more passing by the Patriots. Their initial game plan of coming in and running the ball and controlling the clock is out the window. Now they've got to throw the ball, something they didn't want to do that much coming into the game. But now they're going to have to work on their passing game for next week, or possibly to make something out of this game.
27-10. Miami leading. 10 minutes exactly now left to go. Tony Collins to the 45-yard line. Gain of 3. Second down 7. Doug Betters with the tackle. At what point in a game like this, from a player's standpoint, do you realize that you have either won it or you have lost it?
Well, I think if you're on the defense, if you're ahead and you're on the defense, you've got a pretty good idea that you're going to win it. You know they're going to pass, so you're looking for the pass. If you're on the offense and you're behind that far, you don't look that far ahead. You say, let me score a touchdown this possession.
Grogan throws, has a man open. It's there. Cedric Jones to the 25-yard line. A gain of 20, first down. William Judson with the tackle. Now, a score, you're within 10. With still lots of time.
One of the favorite plays for Grogan against the Dolphins over the years, a little play action, get your wide receiver coming across the field. Hopefully he will avoid that tackle and break out the other sideline and get some big yardage and possibly a score.
First down at the Miami 25-yard line. 8:55 and counting, time remaining. Collins in motion. Van Egan, he's in trouble. He'll lose 3 to the 28. It'll be second down 13. Charles Bowser and Bob Brzezinski stopping him for the Dolphins. But from here on, the realities of it for New England, they want to put something on the board with each possession, either 3 or 7.
Oh, they definitely have to have any idea of winning this ball game. Maybe get some onside kicks. But they just need to execute some plays, and they have to do it through the air.
Grogan completing 8 of 12 in the ball game. Blitz, and he is sacked. Mark Brown got him, the rookie from Purdue. 4th sack of the ball game for the Dolphins.
That was a blitz, Charlie. Mark Brown getting in there. You know, playing with A.J. Dewey gets so much attention from the offensive lineman that the other linebacker, a lot of times, Mark Brown right there, can get in there and do some damage. A lot of the offensive linemen will occasionally just look at Dewey and say, I'm going to make sure you don't get on my quarterback.
So it is third down and 21. Another rookie from Purdue.
Purdue makes some good players.
Mostly quarterbacks. Seems that the linebackers come from Penn State. Third and 21.
Safety blitz dropping out.
He's there. Weathers, touchdown. Clarence Weathers, the rookie, the free agent, the man who has not played football since his freshman year, his first touchdown in the NFL. And he beat Gerald Small.
They beat William Judson.
Was it Judson?
William Judson. Here you see it again. It's an excellent throw by Grogan, high and outside. Makes a big play. Like I said earlier, Weathers getting a lot of playing time ahead of the 2 top draft choices for the Patriots. Now, Charlie, this game is getting a little closer.
36 yards on the touchdown pass. Don't let that one go. Keep that game ball. Your first touchdown in the NFL. Extra point is good. So now we have Miami 27 and New England 17. The margin is 10. Time remaining. There's plenty. 7:28. We'll be back in a moment. 7:28 left to go. Miami does not expect an onside kick here. They didn't expect it before. They didn't get one before. Dennis, 59,343. Fulton Walker is the deep back on the return. Now, Smith has not been kicking that deep on his kickoff. Eight-yard line. To the 20. Walker to the 31-yard line. So another good return. Miami has good field position. 7:18. Time remaining. Starring with the tackle. We'll be back. David Shula, one of the assistant coaches for the Miami Dolphins, the son of Don Shula.
Looks a little different now than when he was charting the plays on the sideline, blowing bubbles as the game was going on.
Speaking of charting plays, Miami has the ball. 31-yard line, first down, a little over 7 minutes to go. Why don't you call the plays here?
A double tight end, Charlie. They're going to run right or left, and I'd say the ball is going to be going to the right side.
Franklin, right side. Maybe a yard, maybe 2. Steve Nelson with a tackle. Why did you pick the right side? Flag down.
On the play. quarterbacks, not only on the Dolphins, but a lot of the quarterbacks in the league, when they have a double tight end situation and one back, as we look at the scoring drive for the Patriots, they'll read the safeties. They can either run the ball to the right side or the left side, and they'll read the two inside safeties. And the safety that lines up the deepest, the offense has the best chance of running towards him because he won't get up there to make the tackle.
He may refuse it.
Disregard the flag. Flag thrown in air.
Oh, okay. Look at the defense for a moment. It'll be 2nd and 9, 32-yard line. Now the key to the read is what the defense is doing, what they give you.
Exactly.
So who's he going to look at?
Well, he's looking. Has some problem on the field here.
A little timing problem, so they're checking that out. 7:08 is what shows on the clock. And the clock, of course, was stopped with the flag that was inadvertent. Today's telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League is prohibited. So we will stay wide on our shot. When the play starts, we'll give you an idea of what Bob Greasy is talking about, or what the defense is doing, and how that dictates what the offense can do.
But when you come out with two tight ends, and one of them does not go in motion, and you have a single back, a lot of times what the quarterback will do will read the two safeties, and they'll run toward the deeper one. We'll take a look here and see if we can see the two safeties. James is at the over the tight end. Sanford is at the left side of your screen. He's a little bit deeper. If he's got the play on, he should run to the right side.
Franklin, but he comes left. What do you mean if he had the play on? He picks up 8. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
He can call an audible in the huddle and say, okay, we're going to run this play 18 or 19 straight. Check with me on the line of scrimmage. And he'll come out and say, and see the safeties and run toward the deepest safety.
Nelson coming out, and Tim Golden replaces him.
There are other times, Charlie, when he'll just call a specific play, not caring where the safeties are, and just run that play no matter what.
Roy Foster comes in, so the Dolphins now with 3 tight ends in this 10th. 3rd down and 1. Clock moving, 6:06. They may hold. And if the Patriots hold, Miami will be forced to kick, and New England will have the ball still with lots of time. Golden with the tackle.
This is a
big measurement.
Big measurement here. If the Dolphins defense has to come back on the field, they'll really be under pressure. They have not been under pressure the last 2 series.
I figure they're 2 inches shy of the first down. Oh, it's more than that.
They're 4.
Ooh, 8's probably closer. So things are beginning to get interesting.
Take a look at the defense for the Patriots. Golden over there to fill in. Good defensive play by the Patriots. It's getting interesting, Charlie.
Yes, Steve Nelson came out. It was a cramp, and Reggie Roby will be kicking. Look at that average. 46.6 yards, long 59. Here is Ricky Smith set for the return.
Roby said his goal for this year was to average 50 yards a punt.
And he did that last week with the exception of 1 kick, which he shanked for 1 yard.
A missile.
And it goes into the end zone. So they're bringing out to the 20-yard line. Hang time, 5.5 seconds, and a kick of 60 yards. Oh, he is awesome.
The guy looks like a linebacker. He's 6'3", weighs 235. We'll be right back.
The Los Angeles Coliseum was still 14 minutes to go in that game. Eric Dickerson from SMU played for this man, Ron Myers, when he was the coach there, has just scored. The Rams now lead New Orleans 21-20. Here, Miami leads by 10, 27-17, New England for their own 20-yard line. Grogan has all the time in the world, and he is intercepted at the 46-yard line. Gerald Small to the 30, inside the 20-yard line, and a flag is down. Just when New England had a chance to get back in it, that opportunity is stolen away by number 48, Gerald Small of San Jose State.
There was a misconnection between Tony Collins and Steve Grogan. He was going to be open if he would have continued down the field. Gerald Small sees it very well, gets the good vision. He thought he was going to continue down the field, was Collins. But he didn't. He broke to the outside. Gerald Small sees it, makes a big play for the Miami Dolphins. The penalty is against the Patriots. Dolphin ball on the 10-yard line.
Here's the call.
We have a personal foul. Late hit, number 73. Defense. First down. First and goal.
Late hit on John Hanna. Next Sunday, Jets at New England, Kansas City at Washington, Pittsburgh at Houston. These, of course, all on NBC. Baltimore at Buffalo. San Diego at Seattle. It'll all start with NFL 83. Just inside the 10-yard line. First down, goal to go. 5:15 left to go. Steve Grogan, who just threw the interception. David Overstreet to the 7. He's got 3. It'll be second down, goal to go. Larry McGrew and Roland James making the tackle. The Dolphins here with 2 objects in mind. Of course, 1 to score. Second, take as much time as possible.
Well, you can't eat up much of the clock when you're on the 7-yard line. They would like to take as much time as they can to score, even from this point. But certainly they want to get at least 3 points out of this. It's unfortunate. Grogan had him going the last 2 series. There was a little mix-up between he and Collins, and the ball was picked off. The momentum is stopped.
Touchdown. Andre Franklin is second of the game. .33-17, capitalizing on Gerald Small's interception.
That looked awfully easy for the Miami Dolphins and Andre Franklin. It's a little straight blocking. Franklin cuts inside, reads the block. Good blocking by Giesler on that side. Good blocking by Overstreet. Walks into the end zone. Don Shula breathes a sigh of relief.
4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Franklin with 54 yards rushing, his second touchdown. Uwe Van Schamen to attempt the point after. Out of the hold of Strauss. He's got it. 34-17 with 4.5 minutes to go. Franklin with a pair of touchdowns. Of course, we spent most of our day talking about the National Football League, not only the game here, but the games throughout the league. It's a national sport. Well, there's another national sport winding its way to the League Championship Series that you'll be seeing on NBC. And in baseball next week, it's either St. Louis at Philadelphia or Detroit at Boston. Vince Scully and Joe Garagiola will have the lead game. Bob Costas and Tony Kubek will be covering the backup game. And, of course, they will be splitting the assignments during the League Championship Series. So that is the inexorable march of baseball as we come down the stretch of that sport. And we're at the beginning of this sport, the National Football League. This is the second official weekend. Seems like the game has been going on, though, for several weeks, doesn't it, Bob?
Well, it has. It certainly has. The exhibition season, with all the intensity and the popularity of the sport, the exhibition season brings on more attention, and certainly the players need to get themselves in shape much earlier.
The ball rolled off of the tee. And the wind's not blowing that much. It's blowing a little. I can't remember seeing that happen in a long time.
Well, the grass must have pushed it off, Charlie.
It's growing very quickly.
There's the type of scoring drives you like to have. Cover 9 yards in 2 plays.
And 45 seconds.
You like to take a little longer than that if you're in this situation in the game, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Ricky Smith, 2 yards deep, and he'll take the touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So now New England will come out throwing with 4:27 left to go. And it may be Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino coming in when the Dolphins get the ball. Is it Tony Eason is going to be the quarterback for the New England Patriots? So let's see what Tony can do. Number 1 draft choice out of Illinois. The 4th quarterback taken in the draft. Dan Marino was the 5th quarterback taken in the draft.
Both excellent quarterbacks are going to be stars in this league one day.
Tony Eason, 6'4", 212 pounds. Sets up very quickly and scrambles. He'll head for the sideline, and he'll stop the clock, 24-yard line, gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. We've got quarterbacks here. They're rookies. Rookie quarterback, John Elway. What's happening?
Glad you asked, Charlie Jones. He is 9 of 21 for 106 yards, but he's been sacked twice by the Colts. Neither team getting much offense. It's still tied 3-3, 4th quarter. Back to the Orange Bowl.
All right, thank you, Lynn. I still have a feeling that they're going to be in overtime in Baltimore. Denver and Baltimore. Tony Eason, 2nd down and 6. Hand off to Tony Collins. He has the 1st down near the 35-yard line, so he picks up about 11. Mark Brown, the rookie from Purdue, he's played a good ball game.
He certainly has. And the play previous to this one, where he ran Tony Eason out of bounds over there, Eason went over there and met some young lady that was sitting watching the ball game. I'm sure she didn't expect to meet Tony Eason up close and personal.
Pass is complete.
Good throw.
Just inside the Miami 45-yard line to Clarence Weathers. Gain of a quick 20 yards, 1st down.
I'm very impressed with this Clarence Weathers. He is really looking good, running good routes, got good speed, good discipline in his patterns.
And Eason, he's running that offense, no question about it. And he's sacked. 5th sack for the Dolphins, and A.J. Dewey got it.
You see Eason setting up. It's a quick set, so he's going to throw the ball quickly. Hannah's trying to block on the linebacker coming in there. I don't know if he took his proper drop there, because it looked as though Hannah was a lot deeper than the quarterback, and when that's the case, usually you're supposed to drop back a few more steps.
And that's the lady that he greeted just a moment ago when he was scrambling out of bounds.
We're probably talking about that play where Tony Eason ran over here just to say hello to her. I mean, I'm going to go over and say hello to this lady right here. I'm going to slide a little bit. Hello.
She's describing it. It will get more and more out of proportion. Within 3 weeks, I'll venture to say that she was knocked about 4 rows up in the stand.
That's exactly right. He ran all the way from the middle of the field just to say hello.
3:23 time remaining. New England with a timeout. Now, here we've talked about conferences on the sideline. I imagine this one's a little bit different, though. They're looking for specific plays in this situation.
This is a little bit laid back. This is not a critical situation. They're just finding out what the Dolphins' tendency are in prevent defenses, which they'll be in, and what they like to throw. Certainly, Ron Meyer wants to get some plays in that'll be successful for Tony Eason. He hasn't played that much, of course, being a rookie in the National Football League, and he certainly wants him to be get some good experience while he's in there.
He has Robert Weathers and Mose Tatupu as the setbacks. Stephen Starring is a wide receiver, along with Cedric Jones and Darrell Wilson. So he's going with 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs. But he is going to throw. There's no question about that.
No, he's got to throw. I think not only because of the score and the lateness, but it's good experience for him.
It'll be 2nd and 13 at the Miami 48-yard line, just inside the 49. Officially, notice where the football is. The official statistics, they always take it to going towards the end zone to the next hash mark. That's the reason it's called 48. Pass is caught. Starring. Boy, Easton does look good.
He threw a few footballs in college.
Quite a few at Illinois.
Quite a few.
Gain of 16 to the 32-yard line. Hurry up offense. 1st down. Rolls out of the pocket. Throws on the run. Is it caught? Yes.
Yes.
It is. just inside the 11-yard line to Mosi Tatupu, and this goes back to something you said earlier. He's a young quarterback. He's going to roll out and throw.
If the Patriots have problems in pass protection, this may be one reason why Eason may get in the ball game in the future games for the Patriots. His ability to run around and scramble. That is a big play that he made because of his ability to scramble around and get outside the pocket.
They mark it just at the 10-yard line, so in reality it's first down goal to go. That is the time remaining. So while we have this timeout, let's go back and look at all of the scores in the National Football League. Pittsburgh over Green Bay. That's a little bit of the upset because Pittsburgh has been hurt so much. Buffalo with the win over Cincinnati. Bengals have problems. Dallas over St. Louis. That's kind of as expected. The Giants in overtime over Atlanta. Big win for the Giants. They've got a tough schedule. Washington over Philadelphia by 10. Cleveland defeating Detroit by 5. Cleveland needed that.
A lot of defense there.
Chicago over Tampa Bay by 7. That, of course, the final. Fourth quarter, Seattle still with the jinx over the Jets, leading by 7.
Seattle's defense doing the job.
Baltimore has scored, so that tie has been broken, so maybe they won't have overtime in that ball game. Raiders now leading Houston big 20-6. New Orleans has come back. They've tied the Rams 27-27 fourth quarter. That's a close call on the West Coast. Easton has completed 3 of 3 for 53 yards. And those, if I am correct, those are his first 3 passes in the National Football League. He didn't play last week. 3 of 3 for 53. That's not a bad way to start. At the 10-yard line. Here we go. 2:49. Time remaining in the game.
So he'll run around until somebody does get open.
Second goal to go.
That's a blitz.
Here's Tatupu into the end zone. Shut off inside. Good call. Now, is he calling his own play?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's being signaled in from the sideline.
So it's 34-23. Now, I have been looking for an onside kick this whole second half. I have a feeling we're going to get one this time.
Good run by Tatupu. The Dolphin defense shuts it down, slides back to the right side. Good play by the Patriots. I can tell you that Bill Arnsparger, Don Shula will not be happy with the defensive play in the second half. You know, you can always say we had a big lead, but the fact is they let up a little bit. The Patriots have done some good things offensively. May help them next week getting back on the track.
And they'll be facing the New York Jets, who've got their hands full with Seattle. Extra point by John Smith is good. So the margin, once again, is 10 points. 34 for Miami and 24 for New England. Time remaining, 2:37. That's an awful lot of time, though, at this point of the ball game. Now, before we have the kickoff, let's go to New York. NFL 83 for an update.
Thank you, Charlie, for the second week in a row. A big fumble touchdown for Baltimore. Steve DeBerg in for the Broncos. Threw it to Rick Parris. Vernon Maxwell forced the fumble for the second week in a row. Larry Anderson goes 41 yards. Baltimore takes the lead over Denver. Let's go back to the Orange Bowl.
Is Baltimore for real?
Baltimore's, I think their defense is more offensive than their offense. They've scored, defense has scored what might be the winning touchdown the last 2 weeks for them.
I like that line. I wish I'd have said it. The defense is more offensive than the offense.
Well, I think what we can look for here, Charlie, is your onside kick.
You think we're going to finally have it?
I think we may have it right here.
I think Miami thinks the same thing. They have everybody up close. Now here's the correction. New Orleans and the Rams, 27-21. Don't worry about our career. We'll get the, if you stay with us, the last score we show you is going to be right.
Look at this lineup.
Look at it. Oh, I love this.
This is a great lineup right here.
But it's got to go 10 yards. It does not go 10 yards. But the 35 has to cross the 45 before it can be touched for the kicking tee. It is otherwise called a short free kick. And it's also called a no-no. It has to go 10 yards. That's the whole key. Or be touched by the defense. If it's touched by the defense...
Short free kick. Illegal procedure.
Good.
Kick it over.
Right.
5-yard penalty.
Good call. How do you like that one, big guy?
I'm not so sure I like that.
I mean, my call of it, I don't know. I was just talking about...
I think if the defense goes down and touches the ball too soon, they can just keep doing that. I mean, better to touch it too soon than too late.
That's right.
I think the ball should be given over to the offense in that situation. The Patriots had nothing to lose there. Now they'll come back and do the same type of thing.
That's right.
Maybe get it, and if they don't, they'll do it again.
That's right. Good strategy. Now remember, the ball has to go 10 yards or be touched by the receiving team for New England to cover it. Now it goes 10 yards. There's a fumble. It has been touched for the defense, but Miami falls on it.
That's an interesting alignment that the Patriots have. The kicker is on the 30. About 8 of their guys line up on the 20 and take a running start. And when they get close to where he's kicking it from, which is the 30, then he'll kick it. So they have a full head of speed going.
Here they come out of the block.
They're running 10 yards.
Foul kicks it there.
They're full head of steam. What the first guy there should do is fly in there and block the guy away from the ball. If the Dolphins are falling on it, hit it, may the ball come loose.
Miami at the New England 40-yard line, first down. 2.5 minutes left to go. Woodley is the quarterback. Franklin, line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. Clayton Weissoon with the tackle. New England with a timeout, stopping the clock now at 2:24. Now, is that all of their timeouts, or do they have one remaining?
They have one remaining.
One remaining.
Of course, what the Dolphins want to do here, and what Shula will be telling him, is to hold on to the football. That's the only chance the Patriots have, is to pick up the ball.
Tonight on NBC, a program note at 7 p.m. It's The Powers of Matthew Starr, followed by at 8 p.m. Knight Rider. And then at 9 p.m. the Sunday night movie, Beulah Land, all tonight on NBC. 2:24 left to go in the ball game. 34-24, a 10-point margin. Coming in, Miami was favored at about that self-same margin. But after the Dolphins got out in front and looked as if in the third quarter they had it all wrapped up.
But I think they let up.
Staying in there.
I think they let up a little bit. Offensively, the Patriots you have the feeling, well, I've got nothing to lose. Let's go out and execute some plays, maybe move it down. The pressure is off of them a little bit. The defense may let up a little bit. They say, well, the game's so far ahead, it looks like the other team has given up, and they relax a little bit, and all of a sudden, 2 quick touchdowns, and it's a ball game again.
Now, 24 minutes to go, 24 seconds to go until the 2-minute warning. Look for New England to use their last timeout after this play. Woodley rolling out, and he will be dropped at the 42-yard line. Loss of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Roland James moving up to make the tackle. Now, the reason I make this statement is that if they stop the clock now, then they get automatically stopped at the 2-minute warning. But they may choose to do it the other way. Yeah, what about the quarterback running in that situation? You like that?
I think that was more of a run than a pass. I don't think he was going to pass the ball and take a chance on an interception. Only if it was there cold would he have thrown the ball. That was more of a run than a pass. Woodley led the NFL in rushing for quarterbacks last year.
2-minute warning. 34-24. Miami leading. And now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1981, 35 seconds left. Buffalo trails New England by 4. Roland Hooks makes a sensational catch at the 36. Buffalo's got a shot. Joe Ferguson, he's a high-arching Big Ben special into the end zone. Frank Lewis leaps and tips the game winner to Hooks. With only 5 seconds left, the Bills win 20-17.
Did not take that timeout 15 seconds ago because the one they took at the 24-second mark was their last timeout. They don't have any more. 3rd down and 12. ...34-yard line, gain of about 6. It'll be 4th down and 6. Clayton Weissoon making the tackle. 4th down, maybe 4th down and 4. Let me make a correction on that. Opportunity for us to mention that executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NFL football is Ted Nathanson. Telecast of today's game produced by George Finkel. Ted Nathanson is our director. Technical director is Bill Toby. Associate director is Bob Gately. The other names that you see, of course, there's so many people involved. Great camera crew, great support crew here in the booth on a very warm day. This is 4th down, using up as much of the clock as possible. Has the first down, that's it. I can finally say it, that's it. 105 and counting. Miami with the football, New England with no timeouts. Will you finally agree with me?
Well, it's very frustrating for the Patriots. Ron Meyer, the defensive coordinator, Rob Rust, and all the players to give a first down late in a game like that. There's 2 running plays. They make the first down, but it's been very difficult for the Patriots with all the injuries they've had. Like we said, they've lost some of the players. The Haynes is not there. Sims is not there. Dombrowski, Blackman not playing. The 2 inside linebackers are really the key to their defense. Have been hurt throughout training camp. Both Lester Williams and Julius Adams have had casts on their hands. They can't. So we're not making excuses. We're just talking fact. They really are not the defense that they were last year, or they hope to be. Certainly when those players come back, maybe they will be.
So we can watch the final countdown. The score will read Miami 34, New England 24. The Dolphins